Hi, this is Attorney Joe Mitchell, YourHarvardAttorney.com, serving Greater Philadelphia with personal injury, criminal defense, and DUI. I'd like to talk to you about a personal injury issue now, and that has to do with what can you be compensated for in a personal injury case. Well, the first thing you can be compensated for is obviously your property damage. Assuming that you are not at fault in the case, if someone damages your car, their insurance company or your insurance company will pay for your car. And that is sometimes accompanied with a deductible, but if you are not at fault, the other insurance company can pay the deductible for your collision coverage. If you don't have collision coverage, then you have to go against their insurance coverage. Now, of course, in both situations, it's really best to have an attorney represent you in this. Although, if you have collision coverage, you can be in touch with your own insurance company and handle that yourself. But the first thing that is paid for is property damage. Second thing that's paid for is medical costs. So that's the cost of you going to the hospital, the cost of you going to doctors, getting treatment, getting prescriptions. All of that stuff is covered, is compensated for you. If you're not at fault in a lawsuit, you would be compensated for all of your medical costs, even if even if you have your own health insurance. Many times what will happen is health insurance companies will ask to be reimbursed for the money that they spend, that they put out for you in a personal injury case, because they know that you're going to be getting compensated. So that's the second thing. The third thing is your lost wages. So if you lose time from work, you also are able to be compensated for the time that you lose from work. The next thing is, and that, of course, you're going to need to document, and you're going to need to get a doctor's note or something like that, but that's definitely another source of compensation. Then the next thing is pain and suffering. Now, pain and suffering, loss of enjoyment of life, the sort of intangible price that you pay because someone, you're really hurting and it's really very painful. This is not always available to you, particularly in limited tort cases. And I'll be talking about limited tort cases in another section, but if you are a limited tort, which means that you have elected to receive a limited amount of coverage for pain and suffering, then you will not be able to recover for pain and suffering. That is sometimes debatable, and there are a lot of different ways that limited tort victims can recover, but that is something that you would want to take up with an experienced personal injury attorney. Then there's loss of consortium, and this is a claim from your wife, which might be for loss of sexual enjoyment. Because of your injuries, you can no longer perform sexually, and therefore you are depriving her of the enjoyment of your company. So these are the things that you can recover for when you have a personal injury case, and all of these things are something that you need to talk to your attorney about. It's very often that the biggest of all of these, the biggest one, is going to be your pain and suffering, especially if you've been badly injured. So that is something that a lot of times you need to have a lawsuit. Sometimes the insurance companies are not going to give you what you rightfully deserve unless you go to a lawsuit. So these are some things that I'd like you to know about as you pursue your personal injury case. If you have any other questions, feel free to call my office at 215-557-7111. That's 215-557-7111. This is Joe Mitchell, YourHarvardAttorney.com, serving Greater Philadelphia with personal injury, criminal, and DUI. Thank you.